Very nice. Sir, the radar, sir. It appears to be jammed. So, fellas, I'll do PO box opening in the morning. It is 0 Celsius outside. Like, 0. I don't feel like going and grabbing all those packages and bringing them all up here. I'll do that in the morning. Yeah. Are we launching modules yet? I gotta pack down everything, dude. I didn't really count on Virgin's rocket exploding. So, yeah, that took a lot longer than expected. But, you know, and I wanted to play Kerbal right out of the gates, but I got yelled at for not playing Minecraft, so I played Minecraft. Got a lot of work done over there, but we'll load up KSP and we'll pack down some modules, dudes. Hopefully we can get it done. We'll probably get it done in a couple hours. If we don't get a launch today, you know, once they're packed up and ready to go, should get them tomorrow. But you also didn't expect SpaceX launches back to back. Yep. Can you still set a drink down by that phone behind you? No, I can't. Can we get that in freedom units? 32 Fahrenheit is 0 Celsius. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the conversions from C to F is subtract 32 and multiply by 0.5556. To convert temperatures in degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, 1.8 and add 32. Yeah. I don't know why the conversion to and from would be different, but whatever. You know, that's fine. This packing is going to be really cool, and I just want to say I'm pumped for it, so long as nothing deletes itself again. That was me being tired, King. But yeah. All right, let's do this.
Discovery.
Hey, Liquidator, welcome to Mission Control. You're go with throttle up. Let's get the tunage going, and we will roll from there. Meanwhile, while you load, can you check aerospace and science in Discord? So far, my message is the last I'm interested about. Nice, Daves. Let's just do Kelvin. It is 273.15 degrees outside. So, master file. How many flurbos to go outside? Flurbos? the music. Alright, let's do this, dude. Tyrone Jenkins, thanks for the 3 months, buddy. Any word on the failure? I assume no. Nothing I've heard, man. You hear about that comet that was recently discovered? It has an orbital period of 50,000 years. Damn. Alright, dude, so we got the station. The station design is pretty dang good. Pretty hooked up. I think we're good, so... Now, we do have a backup file here, which is good. I don't know why I just thought of this, guys, but hang on one second. I gotta do something real quick. Give me 1 second, dudes. I don't know why I just thought of this, but I have to I have to pay my car insurance. It's due today, so I gotta pay. I don't know why I thought of this. But it's good that I remember it's gonna be overdue in a couple of hours. I don't know why I just thought of that. Oh, yeah. I'm really happy that I just remembered, dudes. Oh, no. Ah, crap. The card that I was using to pay expired in December, so I gotta go get my card. My wallet's down in the house. Oh boy. What happened? Did the Virgin Orbit failure really raise your rate as well? Yep. Pretty sure you got 10-day grace periods? Yeah. Alright, fellas, I'll be right back 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I just got my wallet. I also got these out of the car. I didn't grab all the P.O. boxes. Put all the P.O. box stuff, but I have the header reducers that I need. So, I got that going for me, which is nice. Truck parts for the exhaust.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey Arsenal, Georgia's absolutely embarrassing TCU and the entire CFP right now. Roll Tide should have been us. Damn.
Discovery,
I thought
go at
TCU
throttle
was
up.
gonna win, dude, to be honest with you. Give me 1 second. I'm literally paying for my car insurance right now. Hey, Super, 79 months. 38.7 at the half, and Georgia receives. Wow. What you buying? Car insurance. My car insurance for January is due today. And I gotta pay, yeah. Okay. Okay. That's paid. That is done. Do I get told that I look like Josh Allen? Yes, actually, yes. I get that. Yeah, I get that a lot, actually. Yeah. I don't know what it is, man. Yeah, Arsenal, believe it or not, yes. Yes, yeah. That happens a lot more often than you think. In fact, my aunt, who is from Buffalo, calls me Josh from time to time. I'm pretty sure it's to screw with me, but also... Josh Allen is the Bills' quarterback. Here, I'll show you. Here, look at your boy. Weird, right? I don't see it. Some people see it, some people don't, man. I can kind of see it, but I don't think I look exactly the same. You're secretly Josh Allen? So you're more Jason Lee? I'll take Jason Lee, that's fine. You're gonna go Bandit, Reynolds style. I don't know oblong ball. It's hand egg. Thank you. Hand egg. All right. Anyway, let's flat pack down these modules. Have you ever seen? I look more like Tom Brady. I don't look like Tom Brady. at all. Like, not even close. I don't see that at all. Nice, Vulcan. Hey, Spastic, what's going on, man? How are you? Just got back. We got to flat pack these modules down, so let's do it. So what do I mean by flat pack? We got to go through operations and checkout. Basically, what I want to do is take the module, and then A, I just got to double check to make sure that it fits inside of a shuttle bay. And B, I got to put the longeron pins in place so we can mount it in the shuttle payload bay. And then we got to go through some kind of final checks just to make sure that the thing will fit correctly. So, not much. Just checking out KSP, seeing if it's worth the download. Oh. Oh. Checking out KSP, dude? Okay, so what I'm doing here... Sorry, I gotta fix the chroma here real quick. What I'm doing here is not so much... It's not so much regular Kerbal gameplay. I do more advanced stuff in here. Spastic, your hamster brain, though? That's alright. So am I, dude. This is a space station that I designed, and what I'm trying to do, Spastic, is it's designed to be docked together up there. Like, I want to build it like the ISS. You know, and I built a space shuttle in-game to be able to do it. And how I build is that, you know, I don't just build one component of my space station and send it. You build the whole thing and then break it down into segments, which is what I'm going to do now. And I have to make sure that it obviously fits inside of the shuttle's bay, right? My shuttle payload bay, I have to make sure it clears my shuttle's robotic arm, etc., etc. This is kind of really more advanced Kerbal gameplay. I want to try to launch something tonight, but honestly, what I do here is cover real rocket launches as well, and SpaceX has 2 Falcon 9s teed up ready to go. So my fake launches might get eclipsed by real launches, which is interesting.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Not something I would have predicted a little while ago. But yeah, Spastic, what I'm doing is just getting my modules ready to go. I'll show you the vehicle that they launch on here. What is this, a space station for ants? It's got to be at least 3 times as big. Here, take a look, buddy. So this is my shuttle stack. I built this in-game. This is not a vehicle that you get at the beginning of the game. This is something that I engineered. Because in Kerbal, you have to build and fly your rockets. But you got to know a little bit about rocketry. But here's the thing. Here's the good thing about Kerbal. A, there's a bunch of resources, like me, that can teach you how to play. No problem. And B, dude, you got a bunch of rocket parts and fuel tanks. Send it and learn by blowing stuff up. That's how NASA learned. That's how SpaceX learned. You know, that way works. You learn real quick when it blows up in your face. So, I mean, yeah, what you're seeing here is not too hard, like too much run-of-the-mill kind of Kerbal gameplay, dude. I really like to get into the nitty-gritty and the engineering of things and use that as a teaching tool. So what I need to do is break down that space station into parts and then make sure that every part fits in Pathfinder right here. Damn, Koza. Damn, son. Breezy with the 33 months. Damn. Damn. So, dude, it's Kerbal. Don't worry about it if you don't understand rockets. Just jump in and have some fun. And Spastic, I'm usually here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 hours a day. I'll be here, most likely, when you play. You know? So, if you have questions, ask away, dude. Just jump in and have some fun. It's a game where you get a bunch of rocket engines and fuel tanks. And like, I don't understand how someone could look at this and be like, man, this doesn't seem very fun. You know? Have you done actual space work before? No, I've worked with NASA on projects. I hosted a panel at TwitchCon with NASA. But I've never worked out in the industry before. I'm a 3D artist by trade, and when it comes to engineering, I'm self-taught when it comes to aerospace. Your stuff looks hella clean. Thanks, man. I put a lot of work into this shuttle. Yeah. Speaking of shuttle stuff, what was the fuel flow like with the external tank? There's a hydrogen tank and an oxygen tank. And they both go, the oxygen tank goes back here. And it goes up and into the back part of the orbiter. And the hydrogen tank has a pickup down here that goes, actually it's inverted, right? It goes forward and up and out into the back. And then the hydrogen and oxygen tank splits 3 times and feeds the 3 engines. But yeah, Spastic. I really take my time with my builds and make it look right. And not only do I make it look right, I make it work right. This thing should fly, for the most part, what a Kerbalized shuttle would fly like in KSP. So like if you took the shuttle and you brought it into KSP. I've done most of the engineering work to make it fly like the real one. I.e., I made it fly terrible. The real shuttle doesn't fly very well. Okay, let's do this. How much time do we have until the launch? We got about 2 hours. The real shuttle flies terribly. But what you got to know, the real one flies terribly down here. It flies bad down here because it's designed to fly really good up there. So, long story short, the shuttle is what something looks like when it's designed to fly really well, going Mach 25. So, like 17,000 miles an hour, not 200 miles an hour. 200 miles an hour, it doesn't fly very well. But at 17,000 miles an hour, it flies great. It flies great, dude. Anyway, let's get to the station. Here we go. So, station master file is here. Let's make a backup before we start picking this thing apart. One of them is probably going to scrub Nick, and the other one, I don't know. I think the one from the Cape is looking good. So, Spastic, I got my space station here, and we got to start breaking it down into modules that can fit into my shuttle's payload bay. So, I'm pretty sure most of this stuff should fit with minimal modifications because I kind of took some dimensions before I started building this. I took some measurements inside of the payload bay to make it work. So it should work, but here. I'm gonna make a backup just in case I screw it up again. And then we'll reload the station. So, what we're going to do with this flat pack file is basically start picking the thing apart and getting it to work right. And like basically doing what's called operations and checkout. Now, operations and checkout actually happens in real life. They basically, once the module's ready to go, they don't just take it and put it inside of the shuttle payload bay, right? Or put it inside of the fairing. It has to be kind of packed up. If it has fuel on board, it needs to be fueled. Batteries need to be charged, etc., etc. If it has some type of deployment mechanism, that needs to be armed and ready to go. There's a bunch of things, and that's basically what we're going to do. Like my solar panel modules have that crazy deploy mechanism that you guys have seen. Those need to be packed up and processed correctly. I don't need a solar panel deploying on the way up inside of the payload bay. That's probably not a good thing. We'll name this new file Station Master O and C, or Operations and Checkout file. Operations and checks mix. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go take my shuttle and I'm going to rip the payload bay out of it and put it in here. So let me go back to the 1C orbiter file, merge it. How did CTS-50 even explode? Landing gear were on the same collider layer as the craft file. That is something that they actually ended up fixing later. RJ. Believe it or not. So I merged the crap file. We have the orbiter in here. All we really need is the payload bay, but it's cool. Big news, everyone. Rocket Lab's completed a big milestone in the development of their Archimedes engine, their new engine for Neuron. By breathing fire, it's testing engine ignition on development hardware. Up next, hot firing hardware with full propellant flow rates to verify injector performance. Very nice. I'm sure if they have something like gear on it. Neutron, Jackal, neutron, sorry. So, we have our shuttle payload bay, and now what we're going to do is work on how every single one of these station payloads, there should be about 15 of them, are going to end up going inside of this thing. Move the arm out into the, move the manipulator positioning out into the open position. And then put a holding place here for it. Okay. Alright, so, yeah, Karmas it is. Alright, so we'll start with the P2 segment, guys. So what we're going to do, let's just save it one more time, and then I'm just super paranoid about what happened after I accidentally overwrote the wrong file last time. Okay, so a lot of these modules won't take long to pack down. The truss segments should be pretty straightforward stuff. It's, yeah, this is just something that's going to take a second, that's all. So here's what we're going to do. Let's separate. Okay, so move its stowing point over here. All right, so now we got to make some modifications. So let's pull the P2 segment. And then we're going to reroute the P2 segment to here, like this. And then we're going to drop that into the shuttle's payload bay. Now, if I was looking at that right, how this version, how this thing was kind of moved around on the, like on the shuttle and whatnot, was with the batteries facing backwards. So its integration point is down there. And then we gotta move it up. There we go. Okay, let's verify clearance. Yep, it fits. Now we gotta put the longeron pins in position. Longeron pins are how I hold the shuttle payload bay, shuttle payloads in. I'm using thermometers and an RCS ball as a guide to hold stuff in. Now why? Why am I doing that? Why would you do that? Well, it's basically hold the payload secure when we're going up into space. And I know what the next question is. Why don't you just use struts to do that? Well, what if I need to take a payload down? This basically saves me from doing an EVA. Move the longeron pins into position, and you should just be able to send the shuttle. Instead of sending a Kerbal up here with inventory and then having to try to place the payload, get it docked, make sure it's straight, etc., etc. Screw that. The longeron pins, I'll take the part count hit because it's, yeah, totally worth it. Longeron pins basically saved me an EVA at the expense of part count. Now on the real shuttle basically had bars hanging off of most of the payloads. And these bars they're called longeron pins, and they basically hang the payload inside of the payload bay. There's usually 3 on most payloads. You had the port and starboard longeron pins, and then you had the keel pin, or the K pin down here. Now my K pin is acting as a docking port here. In this scenario, it's acting as a docking port. Don't you want to check the center of mass? Shouldn't really matter too much on the way up, Chief. Also, if you know of a way to do this without isolating the craft file, I'd really like to hear it. I'm not sure how we can do it, man. What are you trying to isolate? Center of mass on the module yard? Yeah, see, that thing wasn't placed correctly. I needed to move it back a tick to get the longeron pins. Yeah, but how am I going to mark it? Don't get me wrong. I know the shuttle will take this up. It's not a big deal. Because we know the center of mass is over here. It's not really over here. All good, man. Alright. So now we got to go in here. We got to make sure everything is locked out. We have the manipulator pins in the right spots on either side. So the shuttle arm can grab this thing, hand it over to the second arm there. And now let's go through and make sure that everything, all of this robotics and stuff are locked out. Yep. This is basically the equivalent of doing paperwork. Gotta do all the damn paperwork for this, boy. I make station and station accessories. Yep. Do we have clearance on the arm? He said neuron. Yeah, and then when you said, wait, did you say neuron? I said neutron. I said, no, I misspoke. I'm sorry. But you clearly didn't hear that, Jackal. It's alright. Will rocket that make a proton? Proton is a Russian rocket. Okay, the longeron pins are placed on P2, so I think we are good. Oh yeah, I gotta do the extender pieces. The Longeron pin extenders. Because it looks good. Okay. So P2 ONC done. Oh, okay, Jackal, I got you. Right on, man. Forget I said anything, dude. Is the bottom truss support supposed to be different than the other two? There's 5 trusses, Super. Yeah, the bottom one is supposed to be different. That one. Yes, that's supposed to be... Yes, that is different than those two. These are RMS manipulator points. That's for the arms grab. That's the keel pin. This is where it docks to the payload bay. Statement forgotten. Thank you, sir. Okay. P2 is done. Oh no. I pulled it out and put it in symmetry, but it seemed to remember. Oh, I remember the cal controller, thank gosh. Okay, cool. Maybe let me just take that off symmetry and just not put it back on symmetry at all. Let me just make sure that cal controller didn't get overwritten. Nope. That's the deployment sequence for the solar panel. So P2 is good to go. Field and Marshal, first planes at your new job. Oh, you must be like a pig in crap, dude. Okay. Next module is the P1. Actually, before we totally pull it apart here, what I'll do with this is kind of start packing it up. Retract the ladder. These ladders are for EVAing, dudes. So now we'll reroute it to the keel pin, right? And then we'll put it inside of the shuttle's payload bay. Now this module is going to be pretty straightforward about where this thing should end up docking. Where it should end up getting put in the shuttle's payload bay. But I think like everything else, I have to we have to make some adjustments. 3 ticks up seems to be where this needs to end up going. And just like the real shuttle, that thing is pretty tight in there. Cool. We have some clipping right there, but that's not a big deal. Check for longeron pin fitment. Yep, that's right. Now this thing doesn't have like a cow controller or anything on it. The P2 truss segment in my station's design has a radiator on it and inventory storage, and it's basically just an extender to get the solar panels away from the center of the station for when stuff docks. The other day you made me think you made a mistake. Was it what was it, and did you fix it? I screwed up. I overwrote the wrong file, Kuro, and yes, I did fix it. It wasn't hours of work. It was... I managed to get those hours of work back. It seemed like hours of work was gone for a second, dude. So let's go P2 truss segment. Let's see if we can get a shot of Atlantis with the P2 segment in there. That's P3, B4. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're looking at the P1. ISS has a little bit different naming convention than I do. There it is. Yeah, so on the shuttle side, on the RMS1 side, so for the shuttle's arm, it grabs over here. But see how that port is offset? Those are the radiators right there. See how that grapple point is offset for the space station remote manipulator? There you go. And it looks like that's over there on that side. Well, anyway, I hope it's all good now. Yeah, everything's fine. $45-7, Georgia on top. Yo, that's getting out of hand. Jeez. I'm going to move the longeron pin attachment points here. They need to be slightly offset. Get back here, you. Now, we got to be thinking about integration too here, fellas. That's really important. We got to put the grapple points in the right spots, or else not gonna be having a good day. And that is a big module. These truss segments are huge. If I'm recalling correctly, these truss segments were the biggest payloads that the shuttle actually moved. Alright, so fellas here, while the shuttle is in here, let's move the shuttle into position to where it would dock with the station. Like, where is it in the docked position? Yeah, and doing this layout, I noticed a problem. That's not going to work. The shuttle won't be able to dock with that ESU in that position. There we go. Now it's good. We gotta move those ESUs in one on both of these modules. There we go. Would there be a docking adapter on the shuttle for the station, or is it already there? The shuttle docking ports are the ones with the numbers on them, 1 and 2. 1 docks with the tail facing down towards the nadir, and shuttle docking port 2 is the shuttle with the tail facing zenith. So this way, and then flip it 180 degrees. Yeah, on either side. There is pretty tight clearance, but that's just because the absolute offset is not exact. And I think I need to go up 1 tick with the shuttle as well. Lex, I think we need to go this way with it once. Yeah, that's the clearance right there. I know because I indented that longeron pin on the docking system to get around the arm. See what I'm talking about? So yeah, we were a little short. So, how do we go about attaching this thing? That's cool, Snackless. That's really cool, actually. I'd like to see you do that with the parts of the Grissom. Yeah, me too, man. Best of luck with the approaches. Oh, passing, you know what? I think it'd be a good time to tell you guys that one of the things, remember when I said I'd work on it 2 weekends ago, like New Year's weekend, when I'd work on the shuttle? I redid and rebalanced the entire RCS. It is perfectly, like, perfectly balanced. Like, hitting H won't impart angular moment on the vehicle. That's perfect translate forward. All my RCS is basically pointing directly through center of mass. How did I balance it? Well, with forward and... With forward and back RJ, it's basically pointing, have your RCS point through the center of mass. You see how the thing that I have highlighted, the vernier is tilted inward a little bit? It's that simple. Now with the translational axis, right? You have to start measuring. So from the center of mass, my forward RCS is exactly double the distance of the aft RCS. Exactly. I believe this is 55 ticks from the center of mass, like, so it's 550 centimeters or 5.5 meters from the center of mass to the aft RCS cluster, and it's 11 meters to the front RCS. So this is double the distance away. So double the distance with the same amount of thrust is double moment, right? So I basically made it so we have 1 thruster up here for dorsal ventral. So if we wanted to translate the shuttle away from the station in this regard, we'd have 2 thrusters down here, right? And then 1 thruster up front for dorsal movement at double the distance, and that'll even it out. 2 thrusters that are twice as close as a single thruster should have the same amount of moment. And the whole, I basically did the whole shuttle out. I built a bunch of I-beams and made 3-dimensional axis for those I-beams and measured the ticks between, distances between center of mass. Yeah, exactly, Aqualex. That's what I plan to do for every mission, dude. Provided the mass is the same fore and aft, right? Provided the mass is the same fore and aft. I based my whole system, Chief, teeing off of the center of mass of the vehicle, so I don't know what you mean by mass is fore and aft. I'm using the center of gravity. Yeah, Nova, I literally spent all of New Year's Day fixing the shuttle. I retooled the payload bay, I retooled the arm, I balanced the RCS. Guys, this is an entirely new shuttle. Not an entirely new shuttle for 2023, but it has some significant revamps, which is why I call this the Block 1C orbiter. I redid the RCS, I redid the entire payload bay, flight tested it, proved it out, made sure it was good to go, and and put it all back together. And then we made some slight modifications to the arm last Monday, or well, a week ago at this point. Yeah, dude, she's good, man. It really is good. So it doesn't make sense, RJ. What do you mean? Do you think my shuttle is losing control because I didn't put a cal controller? A cal to control the booster burn? I know once the fuel drains to a specific point, the center of mass should be aligned. Yeah, that's probably it. Your boosters need to tail off. One more thing, and it might make you cringe. There's a pickup at the ramp. There's a pickup at the ramp. It's called, and it's a Franken-truck mix of a Sierra and a Silverado and a wooden bed. Engine starts about 25% of the time. It's terrifyingly amazing. Very nice. I mean, different payloads move the center of mass fore and aft, right? Well, Chief, in an ideal world, we balance payload center of mass on the center of gravity. Yeah, so... But honestly, payload moment over the shuttle's moment is going to be inconsequential unless I have something very off balanced. So as long as we get it in the ballpark, it'll work just fine. I saw that picture, Stygian, yeah, where it curves up into the intake, that F-16, yeah, pretty wild, right? Okay, you got it. Yep. So, how would we pick this payload up? So the shuttle could grab it, it could pull the payload out. The SRBs are tied to your main throttle, and I control it with the normal throttle controls, and the engines burn independently at 100. So I just throttle them back as needed until separation. How are you throttling a solid rocket booster, RJ? I haven't seen that footage yet, Lemprod. Let me take a look. Oh, that's wild. That's pretty freaking cool. Oh, Aqualexa, somebody just said, I'm not, it's two Mastodon engines. Oh. Have a cal controller control your thrust limiter and have it... So launch something, RJ, and try to control that throttle, right? You're gonna suffer, dude. You're gonna suffer with that thing. But yeah, you cals to control it. Damn, that's cool. Look at that thing, dudes. That's pretty freaking rad. That's pretty cool. Hey, someone. What's going on? Yeah, maybe, T-Man. Not much, just waiting for Starlink. Are you on location? Okay, I would say that P1 is good to go. Oh, no, wait. Scratch that. By not far off, I mean it's visible. Okay. Alright, where did they put the grapple points? So the grapple points are there and there. So this grapple point needs to move. Alright, so dump the strut. $50 to 7 now. Wow. TCU is getting obliterated. That's... Alright. That's not something I saw coming, to be honest with you. Alright, let's see if we can get some shots about it with how they put this thing in there. How they put this thing together. So, look, for the people that are paying attention, there's your longeron pins for the station module. See them right there? Those are the RCS balls that I'm putting on the sides here. So, they clearly used RMS, the station manipulator there. Yeah, the shuttle just handed it off. So... let's see if we can look. So let's look at this here. So they definitely used that one to pull it out of the shuttle's payload bay, and then the arm grabbed this over here. So what I'm wondering is which side of this is the top and which side is the bottom, because that'll make a big difference with how this thing goes together. Now, what I'm going to basically do here, guys, is look at how NASA installs modules that are similar, or look at how NASA installed those modules that are similar to mine on the space station, and copy where the grapple points are. Honestly, why just copy it? Well, it'd take a little bit of time to sit here and figure out how like the optimum places to put it. So I'm going to use NASA's just because we're short on time. I mean, on any other occasion, I would probably go through entire missions on the ground with the grapple points, and we still will to an extent, but for right now, I think with this, getting the grapple points, using similar grapple points to them would probably be a good idea. It looks like the radiators are on the top. Well, in this picture, Goose, yeah, what mission is that? This is STS-113. So it looks like they installed S, so the S0 is the top, S1, P1, and then P3, P4, and then S3, S4. I'm just trying to see if we can see where the grapple points are. The radiators are definitely on the back, you know what I'm saying? They're definitely on the back, but I gotta see where the dang grapple point is. No. No. Word. Let's see if I can find a shot in my collection here, looking backwards at the space station. Look at this space station from the aft. I think this one might be it. Yeah, okay. Okay, bingo. See the grapple point right there? So this grapple point is on top. Is that the case with both of the modules? No, the grapple point's down low over there. It's inverted. See that? The grapple point's down low and it's up high over there. So that would be the starboard That's S1 and that's P1 right there, right? So let's look at the P1. STS-113. So the P1 truss segment, that's on the bottom, which means the arm wrangled it from the top. Okay, so that means this module got attached right here, and then they used the space shuttle's arm probably to put it out here. Oh, that's a weird maneuver. All right, let's try it. Let's try a YouTube video. I just need to see it, guys. If I can see that, I'm pretty sure it'll work. Like here, STS-113, or that's. Yeah. Well, maybe that mission patch will get us what we're looking for. I think so, Jedi. I think you might be right. I think that's just a copy. Send it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that shot. You guys think Dragon docking to the space station is cool? Peep that. Look at that. Unfrickin' believable. What a beast. Soft capture confirmed. Oh look, they brought up EMUs. See, they brought up a spacesuit. Either that or there's a dead body in there. Alright, let's see. So, Akalex, did they go? I'm curious to see which grapple point they went for. There's one grapple point right... Oh, frick. Which one did they go for? There's one behind the arm down here, and then the other one is right there. You can see it. Vandenberg launch just got pushed to 12:35 a.m. Hey, Peggy Whitson. Word. Yeah, Snackless, I know. I'm trying to figure out which port goes to... Well, that answers that question. So, they pulled that thing out with... the shuttle hit a grapple point that was over here somewhere. And when they pulled it out... this port ended up being over here somewhere. And it looks like they moved the arm on the base down and then picked it up and then whoop, zipped it right in. See, that's the aft grapple point on the thing. Shuttle arm undocks from that central grapple point. Bro, let's go. Look at that shot. Oh, dude, I wish I could have showed you guys this. This was gnarly to watch this happen. I know we got a lot of new spaceflight fans. That's Michael Lopez Alegria. He flew on the AX-1 mission very recently, by the way. Watching this station get built was nuts, dude. It was nuts. Absolutely insane. All right, so shuttle's port side. And watch, they're going to rotate that whole truss segment, and it's going to attach right there. Yeah, so they did this right to the side of the Destiny module. Bro. And look, guide pins. Funny how that works. Yep. Wire it up, bolt it together. Dude, unreal. Unbelievable. So this arm grabbed the thing over here, pulled it out, right? This video is a short clip of them doing the same for S1. Okay. Yeah, they do something similar to this with Tiangong King, but yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Whoa. Wait a minute. Aqualux, they Yeah, no shuttle RMS. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, if I could just get more of this, that would be great. Bro. Okay. Yeah, if you could just come in on Sunday, that'd be great. Yeah, King. She ain't bad. All right, so let me look at this one more time. Yeah, that grapple point's over there.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Well, I can't put it here because the dual keel segment piece is in the way, so I know that the arm should be able to get at this point right here to pull this thing out. The arm, the way we have the arm set up now with the servos, it'll be able to grapple that thing. What I need to do here... Hey, AFD, 21-month resub. Oh, hey, this might be useful. Oh my god. That's nuts, dude. Okay, Knick Knack. Hi, buddy. Oh, no. Oh, no! That's gonna suck! Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, man. That's not gonna be fun. Alright, well, either way, we have the second grapple point here. And we just got to orient this in the right direction. Box is on the outside, so if the box is on the right of the starboard 1 truss segment, box will be on the left of the port truss segment, which means that's where the solar panel is attaching, which means that my grapple point indicator needs to be pointing to the right. If that made any sense at all. All right, cool. That one's ready to go. Dude, that's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. Oh man, I got my work cut out for me. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really freaking hype about this. It made sense to me, dude. Yeah. Are you gonna get the 2 arms to dock for handoff? So, guys, to avoid a snap dock scenario crash or a hierarchy reversal, what I'm gonna do is get the second arm in magnetization range, confirmed magnetization range. And then let it go for a second and have it zap to the other one real quick. So it's not a snap dock, but it's close. That stagger in the docking should make it work. It'll make it work. Either that or it'll blow up. It'll go right to your thighs. Then you'll blow up. There's 0 chance that that doesn't summon the Kraken. No, I disagree, S. The way I have the station built, it should not be too bad. A hierarchy reversal, like crossing the streams. Yep. You said crossing the streams was bad. Jeez, chat, ye of little faith. Holy crap. Roll for sanity check. I'm fine, Irvin. Everything is fine, man. Everything's fine. No, we're good. We're good. I swear. Can't you tell? Look at me. How many flights would it take to reach orbit? Well, I would hope 1. Good. Just to check. Yeah, got it. Space station will reach orbit in 1 single piece. Oh, how many launches is it going to take? 15 missions, give or take, dude. But I should be able to do 1 to 2 of them per stream. Yeah. Alright, let's get that S2 truss segment ready to go. What, you guys don't think I can figure out the robotic arm? So, I'll be honest with you fellas. Now you know why I chose to redesign these arms like 4 or 5 times over the weekend. I was like, I gotta redo the entire arm. And people were like, oh man, you're just procrastinating again. I'm like, dude, you have no idea what you just said. So, like, because over the weekend, I was trying to do this. Over New Year's weekend, I was trying to do exactly what you see. I was trying to get this done. Then I saw what it entails, and I'm like, that's why I chose to redo the arm, so now you know. Did Male Models redesign this? Are you serious? I just told you that a moment ago. Okay, clearance is good. Can I ask a question? Nah. What's up, S? What's up, Mad? But you did just ask a question. I don't know how to ask this without sounding like a jerk, sorry. But why are you building a really overcomplicated LKO station if the goal is to go to over other planets quickly? Because I wanted to do it in a fun way. Chat wants to see me do crazy stuff in a save where we don't have to build launch pads, so I'm just going to do crazy stuff up in space. Remember, you want me to go to other planets. I'm having fun doing this, and we will get it done. I don't know why I mean, not to sound like a jerk, while we're here, but I've literally explained to you what I plan on doing with this like 6 or 7 times now throughout the course of the last 3 weeks, at the very least. I don't understand how I'm not making it clear. The reason why I'm choosing to build a station like this, the reason why I want to build the station this way, is because I want to build bigger ships in space. I want to use external tanks and core stages to build bigger vehicles. But this is just me figuring out how to do it because I've never really used a robotic arm. I want to do that way. And remember, this is what EJ circa 2014 wanted to do with the shuttle. This is how I wanted to do it. We just didn't have the technology in Kerbal to do it at the time, We didn't have the tech I couldn't do this. This is what I would have done in 2014 if we could have. Like, right down to the ridiculous part count. So, The goal is always to build out the entire STS, but it's to build out the entire STS to go to other planets. But see, the difference this time is that once I figure this out and launch this stuff, it's not going to take nearly as long. The reason why it's not going to take nearly as long is, one, well, I'll know how to use the arm by then. And two, guys, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to end up using landers that are already invented, that I already have from other saves. I'm not going to scratch build landers. There's no need to do that. The RDV from my career mode save is an excellent lunar lander. So we launch it on Jebstone, or we launch it on MLV, and then we dock vehicles to it with the shuttle. Simple as that. Like, it's not complicated, man. This is just, what I'm doing here. See, and I noticed, as like, you and a lot of other people are getting confused. You see this and you're like, oh, EJ is making a big project again. Well, first of all, no, I'm not, because I'm designing everything all at the same time. It's not one component at a time like it was during the SSTO. The idea is that I'm designing all these payloads so I have something to fly every freaking day. Sometimes 2 times a day with the shuttle. It's going to get a workout after very soon. And then once I do that and I have this all figured out, I know how to put the station together. And once we put the station together, then I can use these components to make bigger vehicles. We can use external tanks, aft cargo carriers to make transfer vehicles. Shuttle can bring people up. We could send people out, you know, with the RDV. We can anchor that to a much bigger transfer vehicle. I basically want to use it to build Grissoms in space. That's what I wanted to do, but I couldn't do it, so I ended up building the Grissom and launching it in one shot. Does that make sense, dude? Like, I've told you this like 3 or 4 times now. I don't understand. I mean, it's probably better that I reiterated, because I know that people are here looking at this and saying, I don't know what you're doing with this. So it's probably better to keep saying it over and over again. But yeah, that's what I plan on doing, dude. Trust me. I know what it looks like. I'm trying to not get stuck in development hell. Does that make sense? Trust me. Yeah. No, Yarg, not true at all. Not true at all. This station's gonna get launched in a week. Less than that. Yeah, that's not true at all. Once again, you guys see how long it's taking me to make this. You don't understand. I'm literally thinking about every single thing. I know what's gonna go wrong and I know what's not. I mean... Dude, I do. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to kind of spoil the surprise. This should work. Everything here should work. And putting it together with the arm is doable. I know it's doable. Last, please. I don't know. The way you explained it before just didn't make much sense to you. Yeah. Question for when KSP2 releases. How will KSP1, KSP2 be balanced after release? Will KSP1 get retired? It won't get retired, but I probably won't be playing it much. But it also depends, Super. I can very much see a scenario where we have a lot of fun with KSP2, go and do our thing, and then we're kind of waiting on the next update, right? And then we go back to KSP1 and, you know, have fun with the save or whatever, you know what I mean? I could very much see that happening. So, I don't know. I really don't honestly have the answer for you. But yeah, that's the plan, dude. Like I said, fellas, this isn't me making one component. Once I have this figured out, it's not going to be very difficult to use these components to make much bigger ships. Understand? Okay, let me put my longeron pins on here. Would you ever have the entire ARM programmed onto a CAL controller that you simulate in the VAB? We might have to do that 1 or 2 times, Gupsy, for practice, but yeah, maybe. I could definitely see it if we had to. So yeah, fellas, that's what I'm trying to do. I think we can get it done. Don't get me wrong, I'm perfectly cognizant that this is taking a second, and the station I'm getting a little bit hung up with here, but it doesn't help that I basically freaking had a real rough patch in my life happen last week, but it's okay. Not anything crazy, don't worry. It's just a bunch of crap all happening at once, and yeah. Life has a way of doing that. But it is what it is. I'm not too worried. Okay. S1 is good to go. Drop a save. Done. I'm trying to think how these modules are going to go together. So the docking rings are pretty much something that's already figured out. That's not going to be too difficult. So this thing get all undone. There we go. What I really need to do now is the arm checkout. The rest of this stuff is pretty straightforward, dudes. Greetings from the planet Kerbal. Kerbal the planet. Hey. So basically what I'm doing is packing down the station here. I'm making sure that all the modules can be delivered inside of the shuttle's payload bay. We have 4 of them packed down, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more to go. The docking rings are already good to go. Your Venus blimp? How you... Oh, look at that. That's cool. Thinking about, I mean, packing the rest of this is not going to be packing the rest of this down is not going to be too difficult. I'm just thinking about how it's going to all go together. Okay, so this module right here. Yeah, see, docking port acquisition force, get rid of that. Same with you. The airlock is going to have to ride upside down. Which means if it's riding upside down and we pick it out of the payload bay because we've latched it to a keel pin down there. All right, Gek. Have a good night, buddy. Yeah, that one's not going to be too bad. Yeah, the airlock needs to be up there quick. I'm thinking move the arm with it passing. Bring the arm up and the airlock at the same time. In fact, if I'm understanding this right, I'm pretty sure that that's exactly what they did. Let me back it up just a little bit. It looks like they brought the arm up first. So Unity PMA1 and PMA2 were up in 98. So that's the STS-88 mission. Z1 was up there. PMA3. Yeah, then the P6. Interesting. External stowage platform on Discovery. Remember someone linked you a video on how the station was assembled. Yeah, but it doesn't show all the arm movements, Ivan. Yeah, but I know. So they were brought up back to back. STS 100 and then 104. So they brought them up at mostly the same time. Canadarm2. So where my airlock is positioned, dude, I was thinking I can just grab the arm, flip the thing around, and the shuttle's arm should be able to reach that. It should be able to reach it right off the bat. Yeah, we should be able to get at it, dude. There's no reason why we couldn't. Double longeron pins there, just like Quest, and then we should be good to go. So save that. And once again, we'll go through the missions as we go. We'll go through them. Like I'll sit down in the SPH before a mission for 20, 30 minutes and we'll figure it out. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. $65-7 final for the national championship. Wow, TCU choked. Will you left the shuttle's arm up there or bring two arms up on the mission? The shuttle's arm cannot detach unless it's blown off. It literally, there's an explosive built into the base. That can't detach. Canadarm2 though, that can detach. I just read Start Me Up failed to get into orbit, so data wasn't junk after all. The data was pretty damn inconsistent scripted. It was pretty damn inconsistent. Yeah. But yeah, it didn't make it. But I don't think the data was exactly right because it said it was going like 25 times the speed of light, which is, yeah, I'm willing to bet that that probably was not the case. I don't know, S. I don't think the part about them going light speed was right, though, dude. Unless the Department of Defense is telling us something we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? It got nuclear manholed. Dude, that... I don't know. But that one bummed me out more than usual. Why did they tweet out that it was working? That's... Dude, it's... Here. Oh, hang on. Where's Pat's Twitter? Both of these are deleted. Yes. Oh, that's... Oh, I can feel the cringe from here. Ah, it hurts. Ah, God. Make it stop, chat. Make it stop. Dude, it's pretty cringe. It's pretty cringe, man. It's pretty cringe. It's pretty freaking cringe. Oh, God. Make it stop. Make it stop. Oh. Okay. All right. I'm good. I'm good. You good? I'm good. I'm good. Ugh. KSP mods, Panda. Exclamation 1 KSP mods. I got you. Are we launching the station today? It depends on how much I can get done here, Trunks. It will... Dude, we are launching this at least this week. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean one launch on Friday. This is the final steps. I'm basically getting these modules ready to go right now. I'm not sure it's going to be tonight. I know I said it was going to be tonight. I didn't take into account when I said it was going to be tonight that there would be 3 launches and one of them would fail. In real life. Not mine. Not my stuff. My stuff works. That's really mean. Sorry. Alright, we'll take some of the easy stuff, these easy components off. The docking ring obviously is going to work, so we can take the docking ring off. We'll reroute down here. $65-7, George is the national champion. Dude, I thought TCU was going to do it considering what they did to another team. I think who did they do that to? They did that to Michigan, considering what happened there. But nope, they, man, did they lay an egg. 7 points. Bro, that. Sawyer, that must not feel very good, dude. Just saying. I think the 65 is worse than the 7. Yargits. It's pretty bad.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
3 picks in the first quarter of the half. What are they, the Patriots? You see that, chat? That was a self-burn. I'm trying to... Spain minus the S. Good thing you specified that one. Yeah! Yeah! I mean, I was typing it and I was like, no me gusta, amigo. No me gusta. So these modules, in order for us to place them correctly, they need to be installed. Those ones need to be installed upside down. And frankly, so do these ones too. Was gonna say roll for ego check after launch comment, but then you save yourself with that self-burn. Yeah. It's real, there wasn't much of a chance of beating Buffalo yesterday. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Those 2 punt returns don't happen. It's a lot closer of a game in the 4th quarter. Just saying. No, I'm copium. It's copium pivot. Yeah, we suck. They suck, dude. Ugh. I think it's game over for Virgin Port. Yeah, man. I think they got a problem. I think they got a big problem. And it's sad. It sucks. All right. Surprised more small launchers haven't folded yet. Wait a while. What do I always say, guys? The economy is a big deal. The economy is a big deal when it comes to NASA flying, okay? And the economy is an even bigger deal for obviously the commercial space program. So it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. This is gonna be some survival of the fittest stuff. I'd rather they bail on Galactic and fund Virgin Orbit with the remaining funds. I don't understand how Richard Branson somehow doesn't have more money here to invest into this, Joe. But then again, what do I know? It ain't my money. You know what I'm saying? So with these modules, we're going to need to hand off to the RMS, but how? How are we going to do that? If you had to bet all your money on a small sat launcher company, who would you go for? If I had to bet money on a small sat launcher, Rocket Lab. Yeah, that's an easy one. Rocket Lab. You know why? Because they've launched shit into space. Oh, excuse me. Because they're actually launching things. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. The work speaks for itself with spaceflight. I mean, who else has gotten stuff into orbit? Firefly. Firefly's gotten stuff into orbit. It was not the right orbit, but hey, that's orbit. The payload still worked. SpaceX first. Yeah, with transporter. Yeah, okay. That. If you said out of the small sat launcher companies, I guess SpaceX qualifies in that regard, dude, but. Yeah, if we're counting putting a small sat on a non-dedicated small sat launcher, so like a transporter mission, oh yeah, SpaceX all day, dude. SpaceX. It's not even a judgment call, man. No one can sit here and say that Falcon 9 is unreliable. That's bull crap. That is one of the most reliable rockets ever flown. It's right up there with Atlas. You know? I mean, Atlas has never, ever, ever had a problem. It had one engine shutdown that was a little bit early, and the Centaur compensated. Other than that, its track record is spotless. So is Delta 4, for what it's worth. But see, S, I think there's something to be said. I mean, if you look empirically at Falcon 9's reliability rate, it's lower than Atlas's. Not by much, but it's lower. Right? So Falcon 9 had CRS-7. They had a problem on COTS 1 with one of the engines not working. So COTS 1, CRS-7, right? And, yeah, there's almost 6 technically, I guess, if that counts, if you want to count that, right? Sorry, I blanked on almost 6, right? So in flight, it's just CRS-7. Like, that's where my mind was going. Almost 6 was a fueling operation problem. But, hey, I guess if we're counting it, we're counting it. They literally lost an entire launch complex doing that. So count almost 6 and CRS-7, right? You know, Falcon 9 has had failures. They've had failures before, right? But I think what I was getting at is there's something to be said about Falcon 9 flying as much as it does. Like, yeah, it's not as reliable as Atlas V, but it flies every freaking week. I mean, that's got to be worth something. That's got to be worth something, right? Like, yeah, it's not as reliable as Atlas, but look at these damn numbers, man. Look at 2022. Starlink scrubbed. Hey, Atomic. 44-month resub. Yep, okay. So, OneWeb at 1150. Soyuz is up there for reliability, too. Yeah. For sure. How many boosters are in double-digit launches? Oh my gosh, look at all this. Let's take a look. .1060 and 1058 are both at 15 flights. 1051 is at 14. 1049 is at 11. I think 1049 was expended. And 1051 was at 14. That was expended. 1049 and 1051 were both conked out. 1061 is at 11 flights. 1062 is at 11. 1063 is at 8. 1067 is at 8. Like, dude, that's up. This is absurd. This is absurd. That's ridiculous. It's come on. It's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Like, dude, it's to the point where, like, 1073 launched a lunar lander on its 5th flight, and no one cares. Like, it's really like, yeah, all right, whatever. Salute, the second one just scrubbed. You already jinxed it. There are 2 boosters that have been used 15 times. Dude, that's up there. Guys, that's up there for space components. That's absurd. That's up there. Dude, I'm not entirely sure that there was any SRB casings that were reused that much. And the standing record right now for a spacecraft that's been reused the most amount of times is Discovery. 39 missions. Atlantis is right behind it with 33. Which is... bruh. I feel like the second stage manufacturer team gets nowhere near the recognition they deserve. Right? Yeah, right, RQ, not wrong. 39 missions. 39. Amigo. Loco. That's for SpaceX launch control audio. Cool, cool. I think Falcon 9 makes 20 flights. I'm not sure about 30, though. What do you think? I agree, Yarg. I think it'll make 30. I mean, I think it'll make 20. Yarg, I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't think they're going to have I think Falcon 9 will get replaced by Starship before a first stage gets up that high. But muchas misiones. Sí. Una casa de locos. Por Dios. I'll be impressed when someone makes a reusable second stage. That's what that is supposed to be, Sisri. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, come on, man. 15 flights. There's 2 of them at 15, and there would be 3 if they didn't expend them. Possibly even 4. Dude, how did we get here? Guys, this has all happened in 8 years? 8 years. Well, let's say 7 because December 2015, right? I saw the first Falcon 9 land. I saw it. That was not that long ago. These are absurd numbers in 8 years. Like, Falcon 9 is a workhorse, man. It's game-changing, dude. It's a game-changing rocket. It's an amazing piece of equipment. Remember the bouncy castle? Yeah. SpaceX Audio is online for OneWeb. Got it. Falcon 9 essentially becoming the Model T of spaceflight. Yeah. Yeah. And guys, Starship is supposed to be baselined at a flight rate that what Falcon 9 is right now, which is, I'd say, more like the F-150. Yeah. After seeing all the small sat launchers fail, it's a reminder how reliable SpaceX is. Dude, it's ridiculous, Bill. People take it for granted. You don't realize how hard it is, let alone to land it. They make it look like it's routine. It's not easy to do. It's so not easy to do. Also, Bill, good call. Good call. Only reason I see a Falcon 9 making that many is if they decide to keep pushing one just to study the effect of 30 flights, what 30 flights has on a rocket, so they have knowledge before Starship hits that number. Possibly a lost leader yard just to see. Yeah, maybe. Hey, N9, thanks for the raid. Owen's 51 months. Yep. They need to stop rumbling my damn house with all these rocket launches. Nah, please, more every day. It's actually interesting that companies like ULA still haven't really shifted to how they do things. ULA straight up is doing reusability. It's smart reuse, right? But any mods or improvements you recommend when putting in the new 4-liter? Nah, man, they're pretty stout out of the box, dude. How did Virgin Orbit end up? Last I saw, the telemetry was bad. Yeah, fine. More launches. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Hey, jettisoning your propulsion system, guys, isn't as stupid as you guys might sound. As you guys might say. You know what I'm trying to say. That's not as stupid as it might sound. It's actually a pretty good way to do things. And also, that seed money. The seed money gave NASA an excuse to build one of those. It didn't make it to orbit, Owens. The telemetry was so bad I couldn't even figure out what happened to it. Guys, I want to remind everybody that in the lofted post-flight press conference, they talked about using inflatable heat shields to deorbit Cygnus for a reusable Cygnus. or possibly deorbiting an ISS module with Lofted to bring it back down and study it. I want to point that out, that's what NASA said in the post-flight Lofted demonstration conference. What's going on with Starship's heat shield? Don't know. Tell me I'm wrong. ULA wouldn't exist if the U.S. didn't need redundancy to space. I mean, Ark, yeah, it wouldn't exist if that was... No, I mean... No, I don't... I think ULA would still be around. You gotta remember, ULA wasn't... Ark, you know what? Now that I'm really thinking about it, I don't know what you're trying to get at. What do you mean tell you you're wrong? What are you trying to... What are you getting at? ULA wouldn't exist if they didn't need redundancy to space? Yeah, but you got to be careful with that, because that's looking at how ULA does business compared to the market nowadays, as opposed to comparing the market when I was in high school. You guys, space flight sucked. It sucked. Basically, the shuttle was just the coolest thing, right? And that's it. And then ELVs are, you know, I mean, do the financials of ULA make sense versus SpaceX? Oh. Let me finish that thought. So, spaceflight sucked, and the circumstances in which ULA got created is because the launch market dried up because of the dot-com crash. Once again, reinforcing that the economy doing good is good for spaceflight, commercial and private, or commercial and public. But whatever. Yeah, it was terrible, Joe. So annoying. Yeah, it was in reflight conditions A, which is crazy. So, Ark, let me just go back and read what you're saying one more time. Tell me I'm wrong. ULA wouldn't exist if they... I mean, do the financials of ULA make sense versus SpaceX? No, yeah, ULA definitely had a place, but you're talking now. Ark, and I'm not saying this as a gotcha, are you familiar with the largest commercial block buy in history and who that was awarded to? Did you hear about that? I could not stress it enough when that actually happened for Space News. Did you hear about that? So where does ULA place in the market? I'd say, would they get a contract if SpaceX exists and the US doesn't need redundancy? Yeah. Yes, they would, because they did. It looks good, 95. Here. Look, Amazon signs contract. This is from little over last year. This is the biggest. Amazon signed a contract with ULA for 38 Project Kuiper launches on Vulcan Centaur. Jeff Bezos literally made the largest commercial block buy of rockets in history. No one has ever done this. No one ever has. Not even the Department of Defense has bought 38 launches in a block. No way. Is this launch heading south out of the Cape? Yeah, I think so, short line. So when is Starlink doing a block buy for rockets? Wrecked. Actually, Ian, how many Starlink launches has there been? I bought 39 launches once. Right. So, Ark, check this out. 38 launches supporting developments for its ambitious Project Kuiper. Amazon's initiative to increase global broadband access through a constellation of 3,236 satellites. They bought so that was 38 launches of Vulcan. 47 missions total. 9 Atlas launches. 12 Ariane 6 launches and 12 New Glenn launches. I don't know if I can't decide whether that's kind of shady or not, but can Amazon bought a block of 12 New Glenn launches from Blue Origin. and get, you could, I guess that makes sense. Like, with an option for an additional 15 new Glen launches. Yeah. So, Ark, is there a market with ULA? Yes. They can land, Tori Bruno can land contracts like a boss. Because I'll be honest with you, Vulcan Centaur is a good rocket, man. And and this block buy is actually great. This block buy turned ULA onto reusability. They're going to reuse. They're trying to bring ACES back on the table, which is their reusable second stage. They're going to do smart reuse, confirmed. Lofted was a demonstrator for this. They're going to do smart reuse. They're going to reuse BE4s, and ULA is going to hand that data over to Blue Origin, who will use that reuse data for BE4s for New Glen. Seriously, on April 5th, 2022, last year, the launch market, what is it, market cap literally doubled. Literally doubled. Vulcan Centaur has over 80 launches on contract now. Dude. But ULA was kept alive and able to do Vulcan because of redundant contracts from the United States. What? Well, there have been 67 dedicated Starlink launches with 2 other launches for test missions. So, personal preference is still ULA, though. Odin, see, here's the thing. Myself, I'm a fanboy. I don't give a frick who launches. It could be ULA with Vulcan Centaur. It could be Falcon 9 with SpaceX, Starship. It could be someone could bring back the space shuttle, and I'd be like, you know, like. I mean, Ark. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you say, oh, well, the U.S. government kept ULA going. Well, yeah. So. I don't know what. EJ, you actively want someone to bring back the space shuttle because the space shuttle is the best, man. It's the best. All the stuff that we could be doing with SLS, we could be doing with the space shuttle for cheaper.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said it. Probably not as cool. Probably would take a lot longer for sure, but we could do it. Hey, Odin. Tier 1 sub. Thanks, buddy. Welcome to Mission Control. You're going throttle up. You could be very ill-informed. I'm just throwing thoughts at the wall and want to hear the reasons why. Glad to be told differently. So, yeah, that's what I mean about context, Ark, because ULA, when the launch market crashed, dude, okay, all right, this is going to get some snacks. Gather around the campfire, boys and girls. Uncle EJ here is going to tell you a story about launch markets. Ugh, water break. All right. So, in the 90s, let's cast our mind back to 1995. It's 1995, all right? Nintendo 64, right? PlayStation 1. Good times. The launch market is getting bolstered as like insane. There's insane demand for launches because the commercial market exploded for satellite constellations in the 90s. Satellite phone, satellite radio, GPS, stuff like that. Satellite television, the market exploded for it. So, because the market exploded for it, the demand for rocket launches skyrocketed. Skyrocketed. It went up like crazy. Boeing, ULA didn't exist. There was Boeing, and then McDonnell Douglas, basically. Boeing was basically operating the space shuttle by the mid-90s. Well, Rockwell was operating the space shuttle, if you really want to know. Boeing was making the external tank. McDonnell Douglas was making Delta. They were working on Delta 3, a much higher performance upper stage with a cut down Delta 2 first stage to bridge the gap to their new hotness, the Delta 4. Delta 4 was built with the idea of anticipating this crazy launch market that was coming. Dude, everyone thought that commercial was just going to explode. Commercial was going to explode. Literally what it's doing right now. Everybody thought this was going to happen 20 years ago. Okay? And Lockheed was working on Atlas. Atlas is Lockheed's design. So they were all trying to compete for all these contracts. For these contracts for Iridium, Intelsat, Eutelsat, GPS, Department of Defense missions, Evolved Expendable Launch Vehicle, so EELV-1. They were all trying to compete for these contracts. Delta II was landing contracts left and right with NASA payloads like Landsat 7. So the market was exploding like it is now. Like it is absolutely right now. And then the dot-com bubble hit and we went into a nasty recession in 98. And that dot-com bubble bursting like it did, because all the tech companies were wanting to launch all these satellites, the market literally dried up overnight. It was so bad. It was so bad that the demand literally dried up overnight. It was so bad that Lockheed, McDonnell Douglas, which had, by the time the dot-com bubble happened, right, McDonnell Douglas and Boeing had merged. They merged in 97. It got so ridiculously bad that they were just planning on pulling out of the launch window altogether. The launch market. They said, "Screw this. We're not going to make any money here. We're not even going to break even. We're going to be well in the red. We built rockets that are designed to fly like every month, and now the demand is basically just for the Department of Defense, and that's like 2 launches a year. Screw this. We're leaving." Everybody tried to pull out of the market all at once. And Uncle Sam said, "Hey, what are you doing?" They're like, "Yeah, we're leaving. We're leaving. Screw this. I don't want to do this. There's no demand. There's no demand to launch. There's nothing. We're not going to make money on this." And he said, how about I pay you to keep your pads operational? How about I pay you guys to keep your pads operational and we go from there? And they're like, I mean, I guess that'll work, right? And then actually a little bit later, they found that Boeing and Lockheed were spying on each other. They found huge industrial espionage between Boeing and Lockheed. And Uncle Sam said, "All right, that's it. I said stick around. You guys spied on each other. Frick that. I'm combining you into one company and we'll pay you to keep Delta and Atlas basically on life support until when I need to launch defense satellites into space." So they paid ULA to do it because the market dried up. Bad. It was bad. Guys, that's what I mean about it. It sucked. It sucked even into the 2000s. Like, even when the shuttle was still flying, it was just shuttle launches. Just shuttle launches, ISS assembly missions, and those missions were great, don't get me wrong. But Atlas and Delta are like, okay, they launch like once a year each. It's like maybe twice, maybe 3 times. 4 times would be nuts, right? So they basically kept ULA on life support until SpaceX came around and started it, and that was basically for 10 years. For 10 years, it was just, Delta every once in a while. Delta 2, Delta 4, Atlas. And because the Air Force doesn't want all their eggs in one basket because they got burned from the shuttle program, right? They wanted 2 launch vehicles. It's that simple. And it wasn't a subsidy. It was a contract. They paid them to keep their pads operational despite the demand for launches being nil because we wanted assured access to space. And the Air Force, I'm sure somebody somewhere said like, well, okay, you don't have any expendable vehicles. Why don't you just use the space shuttle? And the Air Force went, no! So, they paid them. Delta IV is a really good modular launch architecture. It's one of the best. It could go toe-to-toe with Falcon, Joe. There's no doubt in my mind, if the demand was there. Honestly, the funniest part of that whole scenario is that it led to Delta II almost outlasting the program meant to replace it. ELV concluded less than a year after the last Delta II flight. Yeah, that's an interesting point, right? So ARC, they basically, the launch market dried up. The shuttle was launching all of NASA's payloads, and the commercial market was zilch. So that just left the DoD. That's why we got the ELV contract. Fast forward to 2012, 2013. Falcon 9 comes along in 2010. And Elon wants to get in on the pie. Him and Gwen want to get in on the defense contracts. And they say that you have a monopoly here. This is bullcrap. And they took ULA to court. They took, not you, well, yeah, they basically took it to court. They basically sued to have a chance to bid on Department of Defense contracts. And that led to ULA's current boss basically getting roasted by Elon in a Senate meeting, which was hilarious. Literally, the board fired him after that, and they replaced him with Tory Bruno. Funny story. You know, he was saying like, "Oh, SpaceX is a fad. These rockets are junk. You want to use my rockets?" And yeah, you can look up that Senate meeting. Elon basically burns them because he calls into question their definition of success. Right? He said, "Why did you call the first Falcon 9 mission a failure when your mission has done literally the exact same thing and you called it a success? By definition, your mission's a failure by your own regards, by how you classify my missions." He basically made him look stupid in front of a Senate committee, which is really funny actually. That guy wasn't too smart, but that basically. You know, SpaceX they won the right, and this was a big deal in 2013, 2014. They won the right to bid on defense missions. And basically break not the monopoly that was imposed by ULA, even though that's what SpaceX said. That's what Elon said, and he's not technically wrong, but he's saying it he said it in a way to kind of to rattle some sabers. You know what I mean? To piss some people off, because that reads right. So Elon basically broke the market duopoly that ULA had with Atlas, and duopoly is not really the right way to say it, but he broke their market, with Atlas and Delta. And believe it or not, you know, once ULA brought Tory Bruno in there, ULA was in trouble, dude. They were in big trouble. Like, dude, people did not like ULA. People really didn't like it. People were like, they suck. Elon's right. And he was correct. We needed to shake off that stagnation. And you know what? The funny thing is, they put Tory Bruno in there, and then he agreed. He was like, yeah, frick this. Going to watch OneWeb? Yep. SpaceX is online. So, yeah, I mean, ULA did have a pretty hardcore, no compete clause contract for the most part until SpaceX came along. But that was because that's what needed to be done to manage our expendable launch vehicle and have assured access to space. So I don't think it's right, considering what Tory Bruno's done with that company and made them not only competitive with SpaceX, but dude, in the next couple of years, we're going to see as many Vulcans go off as Falcon 9s. Can you believe that? Smart reuse, engines parachuting from first stages and stuff. Can you believe that? That's unreal, dude. So, I know, I get what people are saying. I get what you say, like, oh, ULA, is ULA competitive? Well, the answer is yes. Tory Bruno's turned that company around. That's why I like him so much. He turned that company around for being a stagnant piece of crap company on essentially life support. It's a contract. It's not a subsidy. Don't call it a subsidy. It's a contract. That's a big deal. That's a big difference, right? ULA was providing a service, keeping their pads operational. That's part of the contract, right? But he basically moved them into the new market, oversaw Vulcan getting made, right? BE4 production, and brought ULA basically brought ULA up to a competitive price point to Falcon 9. Now, I don't know how long that's going to last. The market's always changing, but he's there. He did it. I love that guy. Tory Bruno single-handedly saved that company. Yeah, it wasn't something like that. Here, let's get the SpaceX stream up, guys.